So, during Thanksgiving just yesterday, there was a video that surfaced of a bunch of protesters who are anti-Israel who went out of their way to disrupt the parade with their activities, including blocking the streets and shouting expletives. I'm going to roll that clip.
This is a Fox News Alert new video of anti-Israel protesters blocking the Thanksgiving Day parade route earlier this morning here in New York City. There's a group of about 20 protesters. They were there shouting "Free, free Palestine" as they were arrested by NYPD officers. The protesters displaying a sign calling for an arms embargo and to end the genocide. Mayor Adams had warned the public that any attempt to disrupt the parade would not be tolerated. And there you go, the NYPD taking them away. Fortunately, the parade did go on without a hitch, so they didn't really interrupt. They just tried.
Are you okay? Free Palestine, motherfucker! This is America! I know who you are, dumb. I just called you. What'd you call me? Say it again. I'm gay. Come out of here. I'm a little good. Get out of here.
Now you just saw that right, ladies and gentlemen. A group of protesters being defiant. For example, you just saw the clip of the protester wearing a mask and shouting expletives in the face of a spectator. Now, with this being said, some say that free speech is being threatened after law enforcement had to intervene to get the demonstrators out of the streets so the parade can go on as usual. But let me be honest, if you want to express yourself freely, go ahead. But that excuse can only last for so long, especially if you're acting like the way that the protesters were acting on tape. That's my thing. You don't entirely have to take my word for it. Some people may agree with me, but I'm just saying. And let's also look at the grand scheme of things. You have a national holiday that is intended to show thankfulness and indulge oneself in a delicious feast of turkey and stuffing, mashed potatoes with gravy, corn, and cranberry sauce. A family-oriented holiday. A national holiday that's family-oriented. Now, how about that? If a holiday was meant to be family-oriented as the way that you would want it to be, think about how you would feel if your child was seeing the parade and witnessed the demonstrators in the crowd who were disturbing the peace and yelling those horrible things as if this were some sort of guttermouth convention. I mean, technically, it was a spectator who called the protester that sexual slur. I mean, he openly admitted that he was gay, the protester. But the last time I checked, jihadist groups like Hamas hate homosexuals as well. The way I see that part of the clip, the protester was wrong for harassing the spectator, and the spectator used a sexual slur, which was wrong too. And that's obviously a fine line that is drawn. There's a time and a place, but harassing the people who came to enjoy the festiveness does not deserve to be allowed. Now some may say, oh, but Thanksgiving is like celebrating genocide. No, not entirely of a degree. I mean, yeah, whatever happened to the Indians all those years ago, yeah, that is bad. I don't deny that happened. It was bad, nor do I defend it. But we're not physically celebrating it just to condone genocide. Thanksgiving is the time to enjoy a feast, be with family and friends, and share thankfulness. There's nothing wrong with that. You obviously can't change history, but that does not mean that people actually glorify the violence and terror that the natives endured all those years ago. And another thing I'd like to point out. If Hamas being dealt with by Israel were such a bad thing, how is it that there are people who actually think that Hamas is such a good movement when they have literally been blacklisted by the governments of some of the countries that the citizens are living in that are blatantly supporting them? Supporting Hamas is like supporting Boko Haram. It's like supporting Hezbollah. They're certainly no different than the Taliban either. Each of them has a main goal, and that is to enforce devout Islamic faith among the people by inciting acts of violence and terror, especially towards those who do not conform with their religious views. If you're American, you cannot say that you're an ally. You could be a Christian, but you cannot say that Hamas will claim you. You could even be a Wiccan or an atheist for all I care, or maybe even polytheistic, and Hamas will not claim you. I cannot say that Hamas will claim me either. I was raised in America as a man who wasn't even raised to be Islam, and Hamas would like to see me dead. That much I know. All I know is that Islam's God is called Allah, their savior is Muhammad, their religion strictly forbids them from consuming pork, and their holiday happens to be Ramadan, and their house of worship is called a mosque, and taking a pilgrimage to Mecca in Saudi Arabia is a part of their faith. But that's beside the point I'm making. We obviously cannot allow this group of disruptive people to be verbally obscene in front of a group of people at this festive gathering by berating them, blocking the streets, and acting like this, knowing damn well that a parent should not have to let their kids witness this. It spoils the fun and the cheer of this holiday. It violates the sanctity of this celebration and the free world and the American dream that people in this country envision, and it has to stop. But if Hamas is really that radical in their envisioning of a theocratic Islamic state, like the region of Palestine, like Iran, just what is it that makes them any different than the Israeli Defense Force that they claim that they're against? I don't understand it. I literally do not understand it. Something doesn't add up. I'm just putting it like that. Something does not add up, and I do not understand it at all. But I'm just saying that the protests that happened in yesterday's parade caused chaos and spoiled the fun. There's no need to act the way that some of the demonstrators had acted. But yeah, that's all I have to say on the matter. Feel free to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Maybe even hit the notification bell. I hope to see you in the next video. Take care, and peace out.